This video is brought to you by StoneAgeGamer.com, a fantastic site for retro games, systems, accessories, and more. Be sure to check out StoneAgeGamer.com. Skip it up and that up. So Michael Pachter is back at it, and this time I agree with him again, which means a lot of you are going to think I'm an asshole and hate this video, but that's okay. So he actually sat down with Gaming Bolt, and they asked him one question, and it led to him stating an entire monologue, which I'm going to read to you and then tell you my thoughts on it. So here we go. Sit back, grab some popcorn, it's going to be a while. So Gaming Bolt asked Michael Pachter, would Microsoft be able to bounce back, considering weak first-party content it had near the end of the Xbox 360's run, especially compared to the PS3, which had The Last of Us, Puppeteer, etc., etc. Pachter responds back with this very long-winded response. Well, I mean, it's funny when you say they have the weakest first party, because Uncharted and Infamous and The Last of Us, I would bet you if you took a single version of those three games, they don't add up to Halo. He's talking about numbers. He's not talking about quality. And I would say if you take the next three games made by Sony's first-party studios, they won't add up to Gears of War. So I agree with you in the sense that the number of titles Sony has is more, but I think in terms of sales, like I just said, it's much closer and might actually tilt in Microsoft's favor. So he actually makes an interesting point right there. Now, I'm not going into the quality of the game. Some people are going to love Halo more than they're going to love Infamous or The Last of Us, or some people are going to love Uncharted 2 more than they're going to love Gears of War, whatever. I'm not talking about the quality of the games. I'm talking about sales here. So I went to VG charts, okay, and I also looked up some other stuff on Microsoft, and I'm going to combine three Sony exclusives, three big ones, and give you the sales numbers, okay? So The Last of Us for the PS3, its lifetime sales as of per VG charts, I should say, so these numbers could be a little off, is 4.48 million. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, its lifetime sales are 6.37 million. Infamous, the original one, this one was the biggest seller, is 2.75 million. You combine all three of those together, it adds up to 13.6 million units sold. This is for the lifetime of all three of those, okay? Now, if you go back now, Halo 3, this is only Halo 3. In Sony's defense, Halo 3 has been out since 2007, but still, Halo 3 alone, as of November 2012, has sold 14.5 million units, million copies. Okay, so Halo 3 alone almost sold 1 million more copies of three of Sony's first-party exclusives combined. Not saying it's better, but it does move units, so he has a point. Yes, Sony has a more robust library of first-party exclusives, but Microsoft, although they're slim pickings compared to Sony's first-party exclusives, they do move off the shelves, at least Halo 3 and Gears. Well, the Gears of War trilogy, let's not talk about Judgment, that really didn't do too well. So anyway, back on topic here, Michael Pachter continues. So I don't think you should make too much of an argument about how weak Microsoft's first-party content is, which I agree with and disagree with, because most of Sony's first-party games that are successful are not gigantic sellers. I think that ultimately, for the Xbox One to be successful, the Kinect has to be decoupled from it, and I think that might be hard because there's a lot of stuff going on with the hardware where it's all integrated and it might not work. But I think you will probably get in 2015 a redesigned Xbox One that has no Kinect, and I think what will accelerate that process is if Sony cuts the PS4's price. If there is a $349 PS4 in the market, Microsoft has a real problem. They're going to have to do something, and they'll have to do it really quickly. I think that in 2015, he continues, you might see a $349 PS4 and an uncoupled Xbox One. And if you see both of those for $349, the consumer wins, which he's right, and they will both sell very well. Microsoft is not looking to lose this cycle. So let's talk about what Pachter said first about how even though Sony has more first-party exclusives, they're not as big of sellers, which, okay, is true. But here's the thing, Mike. Microsoft, okay, their big first-party games, which is only like Gears of War and Halo, they moved off the shelves. Gears 1, 2, and 3 moved off the shelves. Judgment didn't, so Judgment right now is up in the air. Fable has been shot to shit. No one gives a shit about Fable anymore. So right now you have Gears, Okay, Gears is kind of in limbo. New studio Black Tusk is developing Gears for the Xbox One. It may do well, it may not, because people seem to be kind of fatigued with Gears. Halo, really right now, is the only surefire first-party title, at least that I could think of, that Microsoft has. I know they're working on new stuff, but they're stable, proven IPs, their first-party IPs, there really is only Halo that they could fall back on. Yes, Sony's first-party titles don't sell as well as Microsoft's, but on top of the fact that they just have more of a varied first-party library, the PS4 is selling a hell of a lot better than the PS3 did. So people may be more inclined to buy those first-party games, and if one first-party title goes to shit, Sony has a whole bunch of other ones that could pick up the slack. Whereas Microsoft, if people stop giving a shit about Halo, really, what is the Xbox One going to have? First party. That's a proven IP. I know they're working on new stuff, but from their proven IPs, what does Microsoft really have besides Gears? Which Gears, like I said, has to kind of reprove itself with the new one that's coming out for the Xbox One. So you got to think about it that way too. Yes, those games, the Gears and the Halo series sold in the past, but will they continue to in the future? More than likely Halo will, but everything else is kind of up in the air. Now, moving on to how Pachter said that decoupling the Kinect from the current Xbox One would be a problem. Mike, they made an official statement before the console came out that you don't need to have your Kinect connected to the Xbox One console. So really all they have to do is not include the Kinect in a new Xbox One bundle, make it cheaper, and there you go. So I don't understand where you're getting that from. Maybe they need to make the software a little more non-Kinect friendly, but you don't need a Kinect right now. You really don't need one. It works fine. I don't use my damn Kinect on my Xbox One ever, and it works just fine. It's plugged in. The Kinect is plugged in. I kind of don't know why, thinking about it now, but I never use the Kinect for anything. Once in a while, maybe I say Xbox on, and that's it. So yeah, they don't need to do anything with the hardware. They may just want to make it cheaper in the future, just to make the console cheaper so production costs go down. But in terms of having to redesign it so it could work without the Kinect, it already can. So I don't know what you're saying. Now, moving on from that, whatever. He probably just had a brain fart and forgot that the Xbox One can work without the Kinect. He's human, just like you and I are. Moving on, he talks about how they're going to come out with a Kinect-less Xbox One in 2015, and they should, which I agree with him. They may come out with one in late 2014. We may see an Xbox One without the Kinect very late this year, but I doubt it. I think he's dead on with 2015. And they need to, because that $100 price difference right now between the PS4 and Xbox One is what's really helping Sony. And on top of that, even people who aren't really technical know it's everywhere that the PS4 right now has better multiplats, and it seems like it may stay that way because it has more powerful hardware. So $100 cheaper, which you could use to buy a game, it doesn't shove the PS4 doesn't shove some kind of camera down your throat. And on top of it, you could use that $100 you save to buy games and have a more powerful console. Which one are people going to go for? Gee, I don't know. So yeah, I really think in 2015 we're going to see a cheaper Kinect-less Xbox One, and I think they are going to try to match the price of the PS4. I think even if Sony does go down to $350 in 2015, we're going to see an Xbox One without the Kinect coming out in 2015. That's also $350. I think it's a smart move, and I think that Microsoft is going to do it because I really think the Kinect, at least what they wanted it to be, even though, yes, it is early to say this in the console's life cycle, I don't think people are as excited about it as Microsoft was hoping, which I don't know why they were hoping it was going to be. No one gives a shit about the Kinect. People didn't give a shit about the original Kinect, even though it sold well. So whatever. It's spilt milk now that Microsoft included the Kinect. They could still turn around and fix the Xbox One. I know everyone's going apeshit because they had to hold production because stores have so many Xbox Ones in stock and they have a lot of Xbox Ones at the factory. But it's way too early to say the Xbox One is doomed, guys. I know some of you want to, but chill out. It hasn't even been out a year yet. Calm your percolating tits. Alright folks, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and if you have an interesting news story you would like me to discuss, private message me with a link via YouTube, and if I use your news article, I will give you a shout out in the video and feature your YouTube channel in the description. Have a good one.